Much so is your market indicators for this morning. Now, Deputy President Cyril Ramaphosa has been mandated to look at government's approach to e-tolling in Gauteng. This comes after Gauteng Premier David Makhura received the Provincial e-tolls assessment panel's report on the impact of the multi-billion rand project. The panel was appointed by Makhura in July to examine the economic and social impact of the Gauteng Freeway Improvement Project and the e-tolling system set up to fund it. Well, to discuss the issue further, we are joined in the studio by Thabo Masebe, who is the Gauteng Provincial Head of Communications. Thabo, it's always good to see you. Welcome to Morning Live.
Thank you.
All right, so the report has been handed over. It was handed over on Sunday. So far, are you happy with how the process went? Are you happy with the report itself?
Yeah, we're happy with how the process went. The panel has been able to meet with a number of people. They had public meetings. They also had representations from organized formations, including labor, business, and civil society organizations. They also met with political parties and state institutions. So we are very happy with how the process went. Yes, as you said, the Premier received the report on Sunday, and he is currently studying the report, and he will table it to the Gauteng Executive Council, which will consider it and make a decision on the way forward.
Whatever the findings in that report are, is the Premier going to implement those findings, or will he use those findings at his own discretion?
Yes, well, this is an advisory panel. Yeah, the Premier has indicated to the panel that he will take their report very seriously, their findings and recommendations. So, as I said, he's currently studying them, and he's studying them very, very carefully, and he will then present it to the Executive Council, which will also take the findings and recommendations quite seriously, because we are serious about this matter. We need to find lasting solutions that will satisfy everybody. So hopefully by the time the Executive Council looks at the report, they will be able to make a decision that will move us forward on this issue.
Quite an interesting comment that the Premier made on Sunday. A lot of reporters, we can see this is the press conference, and he, was being pressed by the reporters to, I think many people were expecting that it was going to be revealed there and then. His response was, you cannot expect me to make a decision in 5 minutes. And then he went on to say, we don't want to make rash decisions and make another mistake. Is this almost an admission that perhaps the e-tolls were made in haste, the decision to do something like that, and not enough thought was put into it when they were initially erected, and Gautengers were made to pay for these?
Well, I don't think so, and I wouldn't really want to go into that. What I can say is that we are happy with the process that the panel has gone through, and with the report of the panel, yes, as the Premier said, we want to take our time, study the report thoroughly, look at all the recommendations that the panel is making, and then ensure that we have consultations with all the appropriate institutions. In this case, it means we'll have to consult with local government and consult with national government.
Yeah.
So we don't want to make a decision only as the Gauteng Provincial Government without consulting with the other spheres.
Who has the final say? Because, I mean, there is the national government and there's the provincial government. And at one point, there was really differing opinions there. So who has that final say?
There's cooperative governance in South Africa. So all the three spheres of government work together. So even on this matter, we'll ensure that all the three spheres of government work together. So we will ensure that there is proper consultation among the three spheres of government.
Okay. What about Cyril Ramaphosa, our Deputy President? Now, he's been brought in, as we said, the task of steering the government's approach to e-tolling. His role, what is he going to be doing?
The national government will decide who leads this process. I only speak for the Gauteng Provincial Government, and all I can say is that we're happy that the report is now with the Premier, and that the Executive Council will be able to make a decision and engage in the necessary consultations with local government and national government.
Yeah. All right. Just finally, just a word of advice to some Gauteng users out there, because there's a lot of defiance and a lot of people aren't paying. But what is the advice that you give them in the run-up to where the findings are? Because some people are saying, well, I'm just not going to pay until I actually know what's going to happen. What do you advise them?
Well, let us wait to see what the panel actually recommended. The Premier did emphasize to the panel that they need to help him to find solutions. So hopefully they will help to find solutions. But let me just repeat what the Premier had said earlier when he introduced the panel, that he said he's not going to promise anybody easy solutions.
Yeah.
And he also repeated that people should continue paying.
Okay.
Because setting up the panel didn't mean people should stop paying for the e-tolls. But I can promise you that the panel has done a serious job at what the Premier had asked them to do, and that there will be solutions when we reveal the decision of the Executive Council.
All right, Thabo, thank you very much for talking to us. We look forward to those findings out next year. Thabo Masebe is the Head of Communications at the Gauteng Provincial Government, talking to us here about the report on e-tolls here on the program. Thank you very, very much for joining us on the program.